Hello, loves. My favorite incense of all time. I don't remember where I found this. You can get it off of Amazon. I'll link it in my Amazon store when I get off of here. Well, I could probably do it while I'm on here. But it is the best smelling incense ever. Ever. Okay, what is happening? I have been off since last Wednesday. Last Wednesday was the last live I did. I feel like I have lived a whole entire lifetime in the last 7-8 days. You have no idea. Hey, Megan. Legit lived a whole lifetime. This eclipse portal is next level. Not only that, because it's really not just the eclipse portal. Let's be real. It's not just the eclipse portal. I talked about this in my September forecast that went out on my email list. But, you know, September wasn't meant to be super intense. It could be experienced very intensely. But it was all about contracts ending, about major shifts in the trajectory of where we're going, major shifts in our mission and feeling like we're meant to do something completely different, like these major shifts. And the guides have said, I've channeled this for years, that the equinox and solstice energy is the most potent energy over eclipses, over, you know, the human 888 portals like Lion's Gate. All that shit is only given energy because humans give it energy. Those numbers are based off of the Gregorian calendar, which is not even a real thing, right? We're supposed to work on off the 13-month calendar. So the number portal dates are a very human thing and feels potent just from how much energy people give it. But the guides have long said that the most important and potent energy are equinoxes and solstices. And so being that we just had the equinox and what the guides channeled for September, it makes sense. But so many contracts ended for me last week, and it was like gut punch after gut punch. And even though I knew that I would experience that, you never know when and how you're going to experience it. And while I know it was for me, somebody is blowing me up on, I don't know if I can check it. Anyway, even though I know it's for me, you know, the human side of us still takes that hit, and we have to kind of recalibrate and regulate and all of those things. So holy crap, it's been a whole lifetime in the last week, you know? So, yeah, there's a lot going on. So I thought I would hop on for a little while anyway, and, you know, we'll do some readings or we can just chit chat, whatever. I do have a couple announcements. So before I jump into that, if you're brand new to me and like, who the hell is this chick? I am Johanna Burkhardt. I'm a multidimensional channel teacher, healer, author. My mission is to really help you to be the change, right? To learn how to shift your frequency, because there is a version of you and the version of the reality that you are desiring in another time and space. And all you have to do is learn how to recalibrate or to shift and dial into that frequency, like a radio station. If you're off a little bit, there's static, it's confusing, you're not sure what's happening and things aren't clear. But when you're in alignment in that frequency, things are crystal clear, right? So when you shift frequencies, it's like shifting genres on the radio. You have to get to know the new version of you. How does that version of you dress? How does that version of you do whatever? It's all about that constant recalibration and realignment. And as September is one of the biggest months where our bodies are being, our consciousness is being prepared to be able to hold more of our multidimensionality. And that means we have greater access to the versions of us and other time-space realities that are in alignment with the things that we are desiring, and we'll have a greater ability and a faster ability to shift and change. And so I really help other aspiring and current teachers, healers, leaders in the world to really learn how to do that very quickly through private mentorship, through session work, through courses, millions of different ways. I even have the recalibration experience. Level 2, cohort 2 is open until the end of September, and then it will close, and will round 3, the last time I will run that course, will be launching the middle of the month, and it will start November 1st. It will be the last time I run it. So there's a lot going on, and I just opened what I call the mastermind, which is a group mentorship experience with single sessions with me and support like I have never fucking offered before. Like, if you need to hop on a phone call with me for 20 minutes because you're having a meltdown or the energies are intense, you can hop on a fucking phone call. Or you can, you have a single session with me. You also have a group meetup. We have a group meeting. You have a group chat. Like, this is the time when those of us who have been on the path and those of us who are new on the path, we need the most freaking support. I have been awake most of my life, but had the massive part of my reawakening in 2011. I have been on this journey for a very long time, and I can promise you I need support right now. So I know that if someone like me and other people who are similar to me, or even maybe even further along than me, are challenged right now and need support, everybody needs support. So this mastermind is coming at the perfect time. And so all of that is available in the link in my bio. You can learn more about it if you'd like. Only 15 people. There's a cap at 15 people. So 15 people is the max that I will do, because you get in the mastermind, there is one 90 minutes private session with me a month. So I don't want to fill up my calendar completely from just the mastermind. So, and then there's going to be 1 2-hour group coaching call. And then the rest of the time is support. So you can message me, you can hop on a call with me, you can talk to the group chat, all kinds of things. But yeah, I'll be capping it at 15 people, which is the biggest one I've ever done. Yeah, I've been trying to get back to that frequency again I experienced earlier this year. It really is about learning to recalibrate. That's the other thing is, like, I talked about this on my podcast. Earlier this year, I did a 40-day hard reset where I did a 40-day hard reset of my belief systems and rewiring my belief systems and my nervous system. And everything has shifted and changed. I manifested everything that I thought I wanted for the whole entire year. Turns out I didn't want those things. Here's the thing, though, and this is what I teach in the soft reset, known as the recalibration experience. The thing that you think you want, $10,000 months, $20,000 months, the spouse, the house, the car, the career, whatever it is that you think you want. You want that because you think it's going to make you feel something. It's going to make you feel free. It's going to make you feel abundant. It's going to make you feel confident. It's going to make you feel special, loved, worthy, whatever it is. It's going to make you feel something, right? But the power of the recalibration, right? Whether it's in mentorship or in the program, the power in learning how to tune your frequency allows you to feel the thing without having the thing. So then when you start to feel the thing, and then all of a sudden you attract the thing, you're like, oh, I didn't want that thing. And maybe you did. Like, it's not going to be for everybody. But what I noticed for me and one of my private mentor students that I have right now, we both went through this, where you manifest, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm feeling the feelings, but the thing that manifested that I thought I wanted, I really don't want. And now I'm realizing that was the carrot that was dangling that brought me to my destiny, which is what I'm meant to be doing. And I felt that shift in my soul. I was like, oh, I don't need to do this anymore. It doesn't resonate anymore. But I thought for years, this is what I wanted. I thought this is what I wanted. I thought this is what I wanted. And what I really want is something completely different. But the joy of it, the beauty of it is I'm already feeling the thing. And so I know that I will automatically call that in as long as I can surrender. And that is where I am right now. That is where my private mentor students are right now. It's in a space of surrender where we've already jumped off the cliff of everything we've known. And now we're in mid-flight in that gap between part A and, you know, from where you are to where you want to be. And that gap, that void, that bridge is made of faith. Faith in the universe, faith in yourself. Patience to be able to not take the wheel and try to create something or take charge of something or make something happen. It's to be led. It's to wait for the flow of synchronicity. And this is why it's so important to have support right now. Because the human part of us is not fucking designed to do that, dude. It's not. The human part of us is like, we gotta work for it. We gotta make it happen. We have to force it. We have to will it. And there are some truths to that. But it's never going to work fully. It's never going to be, you're never going to experience that in flow. You can create things all day long and make money from it, but it will always be exhausting to you, and it won't ever be as successful as it's meant to be because you'll have constantly been pushing the fucking rock up the hill, you know? Yeah, and so the masculine energy isn't always what people think. You do need both. Don't be mistaken by the coaches that are like, you have to be an all feminine energy. Surrender isn't about doing nothing. Feminine energy is not about doing nothing. The masculine energy that you need is divine masculine, and that divine masculine is the internal knowing. It is the internal deciding. This is what's going to be. I am going to be patient and have faith and trust. I am going to take inspired action. I am going to take action on the thing that excites me or that fucking scares me. I am going to follow the flow of synchronicity, the events and the opportunities that randomly show up and go, oh, I was just talking about this. Oh, I was just thinking about this, and then here it is. Let me say yes to this. So it's different. It's not wounded masculine. It's not coming from a place of lack or scarcity. It's coming from a place of, this is an internal knowing and an internal deciding, and that's what I'm going to do. And so it's a different, this is who I am, right? And so in the recalibration experience, I talk about this and I teach about how, and obviously it's deeper in mentorship, but I talk about how it is this state of, if I was, right? Law of assumption. If I was already in the end, if I already had the thing, if I had no fear, whatever the fuck you want to say, however you want to say it. If you were in that spot, what would you do? What would you do? How would you respond? Would you do it? Right? If you were fearless, would you say yes to this? You know, you have to think and act and be from the state of the end result. And I give in the courses and in mentorship, of course, I give like actual tangible, ways of doing this, and emotionally, mentally, and physically. But it's this, that's the premise. That's the premise of this. And attuning your frequency. But here's the thing. It's the consistency. That's the ingredient that everybody seems to lack. You have to be consistent. And so in the recalibration experience, that's why it's a 40-day intensive, because I need you to commit to doing it every day for 40 days. That's part of how you recalibrate. It's learning to show up and do the thing and act the thing and be the thing consistently. And without the consistency, you won't get anywhere. And that's with anything you do. And one day I'll write a book called 40 Days, because I have been doing this process since 2016. And it has worked every time. Every time. It's the magic ingredient. It truly is. No, I don't think so, because your third eye is going to be your clairvoyance. But most people don't understand clairvoyance. Clairvoyance isn't seeing a movie theater in your eye, in right here. It's not seeing a projection screen or a movie reel. A lot of people's clairvoyance works with their claircognizance. So if I say pink elephant, you're going to know what a pink elephant would look like, right? Using your imagination. That is your clairvoyance. Your imagination is real. It's the astral plane. And everything began with imagination. Before anything, the car, the plane, a desk, a chair, a house, someone imagined it. So you have to be able to imagine, and everybody has the ability to imagine. They just get confused and think they need to see a picture. But if I tell you pink elephant, you're going to know what a pink elephant looks like. That is your clairvoyance. As far as your clairaudience or hearing your guides, you can hear your guides multiple ways. You can go, it can come in through a knowing. It can come in through a voice in your own voice in your head, which is your clairaudience. It can come in through images. It can come in through sensing and having a feeling. So there's multiple ways in which you can communicate with your guides, but you don't need to communicate with your guides for any of this to work. Your guides are always guiding you, but it's your inner knowing and following that flow of what's showing up. It's your alignment, it's your frequency, it's your magnetism that has to be the thing that you're working on, because your mind is sending out a signal, but your energy, your frequency is the magnetic field that calls everything in. So if these two are not in alignment, your world is chaotic. You're like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm saying the affirmations, but your belief system says, I'm not worthy of that. That's not really going to happen. What do you assume? Whatever you assume will be. Whatever you assume will bloom. Put it that way. I feel like I'm clairaudient. I feel like I'm constantly hear stuff and random stuff pops up in my head. Yeah, if you talk to, here's a way to know if you're clairaudient. You talk to yourself all the time. You act like you answer yourself all the time. You have frequency changes in your ears where your ears can crackle or pop. You might have weird air pockets that go through. You might hear a low hum or static. You might actually be a physical medium like me and manifest voice where you hear someone else's voice outside of you. That is rare. It is not very common, but I have that, and I know a few other people who have it. So it is something that can happen. And music, you get messages through music. So that is the telltale signs of clairaudient. Hey, Tippy Tap. So anyway, if you're somebody who could use like unprecedented support right now, and you're someone who really wants to be the change, you want to learn how to realign your frequency, you want to learn how to expand and up-level your gifts, you want to be somebody who shows up in the world and demonstrates change, however that looks. It doesn't mean you have to be like me. It doesn't mean you have to be a coach, a teacher, healer, medium. You can be, that's cool. But if that's something that is calling to you, because this shift is so massive and the people are feeling the call to show up right now, and you really want to work on yourself and you really want the support, and either you're already in this business or you're thinking about maybe one day you want to be, the mastermind is for you. And it is a 6-month container. And I only want people in there who are fucking committed. Like, you're like, I'm done. I'm done with going circles around my gifts, done with old patterns, and done with being fearful. I'm done with not knowing how to surrender. I'm done with the fucking loops of the stories in my mind and going through the same experiences. I want to be supported financially. I want to feel secure in my being. I want to have faith. I want to know how to change and shift my energy. I want to know how to be in power. Means empowered, right? In my own power. Then this is for you. And you can't just go buy and sign up. It's not like that. You do need to book a consult with me. It is a 30-minute call, and we will talk about what it is that you're wanting to work on, what kind of support you need, see if we have a good vibe. And then if we both feel like it's a fit, we'll draw up the contract, and you'll be a part of the mastermind. So we're going to start officially October 10th will be where I will close out, and however many people, up to 15 we get is what we'll do. And so there's a whole page with all kinds of information, but if you have questions and it feels like it's something you want to do, book a call. But that's what we got going on. Anyway, so today, I kind of went on a very long rant there. For a little while anyway, today I'm going to be offering regular old intuitive reads where I tap into your energy matrix, your spirit guides, your ancestors. There is no mediumship today, but if mediumship shows up, when I'm tapping into you, I will bring it through. They are by donation. As you see up there, there's a range of what you can donate. All of it is linked in the tip jar. So Venmo, Cash App are preferred, but PayPal is in there as well. Please let me know where you donated, when you donate, and then I can get you on the list. If we have a list going, and I can do a reading. If you want a card, all you have to do is gift and put your first name and ask for a card, and I'd be happy to pull you a card. And again, if you have general questions and you guys just want to chit chat today, we can do that too. You know, this is my time to be of service to you, and to help you guys get to know me and my energy, to see if I'm somebody who you align with and, you know, want to have a part of your tribe. Hey, I'm good. How are you doing? Dragon Eyes, that's you, Eric, right? Oh my God, I forgot because you changed your account. Yeah, it's not even a group program, Tippy Tap. It is a mastermind. It is group mentorship. It has individual mentorship in it and a group aspect with like ridiculous support. You should go read the landing page at least. But it's going to be, I'm pumped for it. I am pumped because I'm shifting. I don't want to be live on here as much anymore, and I'm not going to be. I'm going to slowly start pulling back even more because I really want to focus on helping people who I know are going to go out and help the world. I want to focus on healing and teaching and guiding and aligning those who I know are amazing, talented fucking souls and I want to do that. I want to be behind the scenes helping those who I know are going to be out there helping the world. And however that works, however that shows up. And every person I've ever had in private mentorship has gone on to open up or already was in a business, and it just became more successful. I have countless testimonies on that. So mentorship has always been my favorite thing to do, but I've never offered it in a group setting, and I've never offered it with this level of support. And it just feels like fire right now. It just feels like this is the time when people need it, and it's time to set the world on fire. It's time to blaze a huge fucking trail. It is time for those who are done with the bullshit and who are like, let's go. Like, let's go all in. Let's do it. Let's up level. Let's have faith. Let's really believe in ourselves. Let's bust our gifts open. Let's work together. Let's surround ourselves with people that are kick-ass. Let's surround ourselves with people who are like-minded, who are supportive. And you know, Tippy Tap, from the support you saw in the recalibration experience in the group, like, think about that in a smaller context where everybody is going through it and everybody is doing it. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want something electric and just fire and so much change and so much inspiration. It's amazing. That's what I want. If it scares you, oh, it's Christopher. Okay, sorry. I cannot always remember the name that goes with the username, so I apologize. Anyway, here's what I can tell you. The things that scare you, you are meant to go towards. As long as it's not danger fear. If you fear it, you better go near it. If it excites you, you better grab it. And the other thing you want to ask yourself is, if I was fearless, would I say yes to this? You better grab it. And the other thing you want to ask yourself is, if I was fearless, would I say yes to this? If you didn't have any fear, would you jump into practicing being a medium? Hell yeah, you would. So that's your answer. That's what you're meant to do. But if you listen to the fear, that's the matrix sucking you back in, going, let me control you. Let me dim your light. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. Yeah, as soon as you feel fear, that's when you do it. Like, when I find fear, I run towards it. Run towards it. So, and, you know, again, with the fear, like my last book, when I didn't publish it because I was in so much fear. I literally stopped writing at chapter 9. I had one more chapter to write and I couldn't do it. I got writer's block. I froze because my perpetrators, my abusers were still alive. And I knew when I put the book out there was a good chance they were going to see it or find out about it, and it lit up everything in me that I was going to die. They were going to kill me. And I spent a whole year working through the fear. Whole year. Put out some amazing programs because of the guidance the guides were giving me to help me move through the fear. I then turned around and taught other people, right? But it was that allowed me to, in 2020, to finish the book and spend that year editing the book with my editor and then publishing it, right? And so again, whatever I have feared and I've leaned into has changed everything for me. It is, mediumship is a beautiful gift. And it's so helpful for people. Always take the leap. It's either going to be a blessing or a lesson. Yep, exactly. Yay! Oh, look, you guys. So I went to North Carolina to visit my son for his 18th birthday. I got to get it out. Hold on. And I've talked about this. I am, as soon as my TikTok store is fixed, it's a 30-day hold, bullshit, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to start talking about my books. But this is my children's book that I wrote, Become Your Own Superhero. It's a 21-day power guide. I actually grabbed the copy when I was at my son's house. I wrote this for my son because he was being bullied by teachers and students. I did a TikTok about this, but my son was in therapy, and we had a parent meeting with the therapist, and she keeps talking about this book. I see, there's me. This book that she's using to help my son, and she's describing it, and I said, turn it over. Turn it over. She goes, oh my God, that's you. I was like, yeah, I wrote that. And I said, what a full circle moment. You're helping my son with a book I wrote for him. So yeah, this is called, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Become Your Own Superhero. It's a 21-day empowerment guide. It has all these superpowers in the back. It's got just journal pages. It has phases. It has all this in there. But you know what the funny thing is I thought I was really writing this for children, and I did. I wrote it for my son. But what has become of it is parents and teachers and guidance counselors and therapists started picking this up and using it to help kids because they said it was so helpful in the way that I wrote it and the way that I asked questions and the simple way that I made things clear. Like it, therapists, I think sometimes they're too clinical. They're too in there. I'm writing it from a mom's perspective. And so that's why it became so easy for other moms and, therapists and guidance counselors to use it. And then I also donated about 100 copies to a woman's domestic violence shelter. Mine is about my daughter coping with grief on my father's passing. That's beautiful. But yeah, this was the first book I ever published. And it's very dear to me. So I'll be talking more about this too. So when I do go live, it's going to be about me sharing parts of my book, parts of the stories about my book. And then I'm also writing another book right now. So there'll be, once I get like 3 or 4 chapters in on that book, I'm going to open up a group where you can actually pay a fee and get early access to every chapter. You'll get a signed copy once it's published. You'll get live Q&As from me. So you're going to get early access to the book and all of that. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming from me, a lot of shifts and changes, and all because I recalibrated, all because I actually got onto the frequency of my alignment, my true alignment, and everything started to shift and change. And that's kind of the basis of my private mentorship and this mastermind is just about getting everybody into alignment and really helping them expand their gifts, helping them with surrender, helping them with support, helping them with this shift. And the one-on-one, whatever we work on one-on-one, that's going to be individualized. So there's a group component to it, but the one-on-one is going to be tailored to what is the things that you really want to focus on over that 6 months. So it's a little bit of a tailored experience as well. But anyway, so that's what we've been talking about. Oh, you too. Good night. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Tippy Tap. Yeah, there's so many people that, especially round one, man, the people that came out of the recalibration experience round one, man, they are kicking ass right now. What does one-on-one mentorship look like? So that's a great question. So when you're working, this is different from the mastermind, just private mentorship in general is 6 months. It is 13 90-minute sessions with me over the 6 months. So it comes out to about 2 sessions a month every other week. And you get a set day and time that is on my calendar, so nobody can book sessions, right? You'll never have your spot taken. You get access to one full course that we feel like would be beneficial for you to work on your own time, whether that's learning spiritual development, if that's inner child work, parts work, whatever it is that you need, there's a course for it. Anytime you're in private mentorship with me, if I'm running a live program, you automatically get access to the live program while it's being run. So again, if you were to sign up, let's say this week somebody signed up for private mentorship, they'll get automatic access. In addition to that course, they'll get automatic access to the recalibration experience, the round I'm in now, and the next round. And then you get messenger support 6 days a week. So Monday through Saturday, if you, there's actually 2 levels of support here. The messenger support is if you have questions, if you're really struggling and you need me to kind of pull you out of it, or you need help, you can jump on Messenger and say, hey, and in between calls or whatever, I will get back to you. And then there's Marco Polo support. So if you never heard of Marco Polo, it's an app. It's a video chat app. And that allows you to be able to send me a video. And Marco Polo, I use that in mentorship and will be used in the group mastermind. This is a new addition to private mentorship. I never used to have this before. So this is a new addition to private mentorship. But I call it the space where I hold space for you. So when you need to articulate something, when you need to vent about something, when you need someone to just listen, this means I don't give you advice. You need to be seen and you need to be heard, which is what most people want anyway. You go on to Marco Polo, you click on it, you're going to look like you're talking to yourself. And that's the added bonus of it. You're looking at yourself, you're speaking to yourself, you're processing as you do. You'll probably get the answer that you need just in the process of doing it, because you're sending it to my energy. My energy naturally grounds it and really helps you to have that clarity. And then I listen to it. And if I feel like I have something that we can talk about or add to it, I absolutely will bring it up in our next session. But that is where I can hold space for you, and it gives you a space to vent where you're not going to be judged, where it will help you come into clarity. It'll be received well, it'll be listened to. But then if you do have questions or you do need guidance, you also have me on Messenger where you can message me. So that is my largest investment. It is $3,300 for 6 months. If you do a payment plan, I think it's an extra $150 I add on for the payment plan, and you can pay that as long as it's paid up before the 6 months is up. I don't really care how you stretch out your payments. But obviously paying in full saves you a little bit of money, but it doesn't change what you get, because I don't feel like that's where it's at. I feel like you should get what you get, and that's all. So private mentorship has been the thing that has been the most transformative for people working with me. And all the calls are recorded. You have your own little file on Dropbox that you get to access. And so that's what private one-on-one mentorship looks like. Hey, Christy. Yeah, you can do it for psychic mediumship. Yeah, we can work on developing your gifts. I have a program called the Energy Matrix where I dive into basic psychic mediumship. And so I would give you, if that's what you came for, if you're there for spiritual development, I would definitely give you the Energy Matrix. That is probably my most expensive course too. And you get to keep that, by the way, even after mentorship. You get to keep that, so you have it for life. And that way you're working in between sessions, and we can use your sessions to really hone in your gifts, to really clear the things that are blocking you. Because it's not that you don't know what you're doing or how to do it. It's that we have to clear the limiting beliefs. We have to clear the blockages. We have to build the trust within yourself. We have to build up your confidence. We have to do those things and really work and give you tips and techniques and things like that. So it just really depends on what it is that you want to work on. But yeah, we can do it on spiritual development. We can do it on any number of things. But again, it's tailored. That's the nice thing, is it's tailored. Thanks for asking. I'm good. I was just telling everybody that this past week has been like a whole lifetime of shit. It's been intense. And I'm not going to be on live as much doing this anymore as I used to. So you got to take advantage of it while I'm here. I nannied for a little while. I kind of like nannying, especially when it's little kids. I wasn't a fan of nannying the older kids, but I do love nannying the little ones. A lot of people were sick, Tippy Tap. I was sick. I had allergies for like I had allergies on and off for like a month and a half. Is this person coming to my house? Hold on a second. No. Like really bad allergies, like plugged ear, clogged sinuses, swollen throat, dry chest. I am still going to go to an allergist, but it's all ascension symptoms. Even though it's allergies, it's ascension symptoms, because we're moving into that new frequency, and anything that has to be cleared is being cleared. And again, that's contracts. Like I lost 2 relationships last week. Clearing the shit in your body, purging that, like so much is freaking changing. And here's the thing, we can no longer straddle. We used to be able to put one foot in both worlds. Let's use numbers just for this video. We used to be able to put one foot in 3D, one foot in 5D. Can't do that anymore. Can't. It's too far apart. The frequency gap, the gap between frequencies is too far apart now. The worlds are too far apart. So you have to pick and you have to commit, because every time you go back, it's going to slow you down and put you back so far. So like, this is what I'm saying. And another reason why the mastermind is so important right now, because you have to commit and you have to trust and you have to go all in. Otherwise, you are going to be drained and sick all the time by going back into the old frequencies. Stomach flu and 2-day migraine. Oh, I hate the migraine. I could deal with the stomach flu over the migraine. I can't stand migraines. I don't mind it. A stomach flu is like, oh, it's a good way to drop 5 pounds. Clear it out. Clear it out. Yeah, I did nannying on the side too, over the last couple of years. Children are so awesome to be around because they're so wide open. But they're also sponges for their parents. So if their parents aren't doing the inner work and their parents are toxic or in victim mode, the children absorb that. Remember, the first 5 years of a child's life, they have 0 auric field. It's not until the age 7 when they fully develop their root chakra, which allows for a partial auric field. They're in their parents' aura and they're walking sponges, but they're also wide open. So and your heart is generally wide open around a child. And so that's the benefit of that, is it helps you be more in tune spiritually. Oh, I bet if you never get them, I bet that shit was rough, girl. I'm sorry. That's terrible. That is terrible. But I'm ready for October, because I feel like October is going to be a much better month. I feel like October is going to be a much better month. Much better month. Also, who's listening to season 2? Who has been listening to season 2 of Cosmic Blonde? Anybody on here? Season 2 is out. Episode 3? Yeah, episode 3 went out. What's today? Yesterday. It went out yesterday. I've listened to the first episode. Awesome. Episode 3, Tippy Tap has Elise from the Recalibration Experience. Elise was my guest. That's the other thing about this season is I'm going to be bringing on more of my past private mentor students who are out there kicking ass in the world. I'm going to be interviewing some people that I have met and followed on TikTok who are fucking kicking ass in this world. I just really want to share as much resources for people this year as I can. She is great energy. Salime, who is my private mentor student right now, who was also in the recalibration experience, we just did an episode with her. I have someone coming on who used to be in Hollywood, who is still a voice actor, who had an awakening and healed herself. I'm talking, she's pretty cool. I'm actually going to probably do another episode with her. An episode of this fucking phenomenal chick who I just massively clicked with that lives in Tennessee. She does Egyptian healing, Sekhem healing. Oh my God, her and my vibe, so good. So good. We will have multiple episodes as well. She's going to be on. Christine Freeland. I did a bunch of episodes with her last year. Another kick-ass mentor who's changing the world, who is a really good friend of mine. Her and I are going to be doing some episodes. This is going to be a killer season. Killer season. Oh, yeah. We're probably not going to be doing much more of those. She's done some shifting and changing in the trajectory that she wants to go in. And that was our trial to see how she felt doing it. And she did really good. But she's making some shifts and changes because she's mentored with me a couple of times, and I certified her in DNA Activation and Restructuring as well, which is something that I do as a service I offer. And she went through this mentorship round. She did the 40-day hard reset, and she's now on a different frequency, and everything's changed for her. And so we went live on a trial basis to see how she felt doing that. And she was good at it and it comes easy to her, but it's not what lights her up. So we've made some adjustments, and that's part of mentorship. Like, she's building her business right now, and we're doing the tweaking and the changing behind the scenes, and we're fine tuning. And I used to be a business mentor. I was a business coach for many years before I brought spirituality into it. I've been to all the big business schools, especially when it comes to being on the online platform. I did Marie Forleo's B School. I did Spirit Junkie Masterclass with Gabby Bernstein. I've done all the big business programs, and so I have a lot of business experience, and so I'm helping her kind of tweak and adjust and get herself out there and build her business. And again, I have done this for several private mentor students, and they've all gone on to be extremely successful. Another private mentorship student named Angela, she'll be coming on the show. I have to book her. In fact, I got to send her a link probably tomorrow to get on the show. She's out there killing it, and she came from corporate, and she jumped right in, had 2 full feet into the deep end, and she's out there killing it. So she'll be on the show. I'm just excited. I'm just excited to start sharing people with y'all, and that's my goal. Write my books, get my podcast, and start mentoring the people who are going to go out there and fucking kill it in this world. Like, that's my focus. It's my focus. And that's different, because when I first, from 2016 until probably 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, I wanted to be speaking on the stages, and I've been there, right? I've been on stage I have done the tele-summit circuits. I've been on podcasts. I have been in magazines. I have been in the limelight. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be the next Gabby Bernstein. I wanted to be the next big self-help person out there. I wanted to open a world-class health and wellness center, like a healing center in Kauai. I wanted to do all these things. And then after I did the 40-day hard reset, and recalibrated myself, it took a couple of months, and I was like, that no longer lights me up. Because now I'm feeling all the things that I thought I would only feel if I had that. And I no longer want to do that. I kind of want to go behind the scenes, and I kind of want to have a little bit more of a quiet life. And I want to be behind the scenes, supporting, tweaking, realigning, building up, pushing out into the world those who are meant to be in the limelight, those who are meant to be on TikTok Live, who are meant to be on stages, who are meant to write books, who are meant to mentor other people. I want to be that person, and that lights me up completely. And so you're going to watch me go through a change. And anybody who's been following me since the beginning, since 2015, when I was really focusing more on my business coaching, has watched me burn shit down repeatedly. In fact, my best friend, Tanya, was a student of mine first, and then we stopped working together because we realized we just wanted to be best friends. But she's like, the thing that drew me to you is like, you would get this awesome idea and you would do it for 6 months, and then when it didn't align, you'd burn that shit down and start something new with unapologetically. You had no fear. And I was like, but that's who I am. If you're familiar with human design, I'm a 1-3 manifester. I'm an investigator. I go first. I torch the trail so that you can easily walk it behind you. And sometimes that means I got to blaze a trail real fast and then back up, go this way, blaze another trail, go that way, blaze another trail. That's what I do. So I have always shared the raw, real, the good, the bad, the funky, the mess, the beauty. I've shared it all. That's why people like me, because I don't sugarcoat it. I don't hide it. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. So you guys will watch me go through a shift and change, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to watch. Hi, Shannon. Kauai is my island. That island. Hi, Misty. That island, just when I land there, I feel like I'm home. And maybe it's because of the Lemuria connection. I don't know. But Kauai, that place is my sacred place. I'm in the midst of a tower moment, and that's how I know I'm shifting for the better. Yeah! Congratulations. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah. Shannon, you'd be a good fit for the mastermind too. So you should check that out. But there's a lot of people who are in the tower right now. There's a lot of people who are jumping off the cliff of the known and are in that middle place of the void where they have to be in faith and surrender and let go so that they can fly to the other side. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with the mastermind. So there's way too many people who are messaging me and coming to me in single sessions and going like, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on. I feel like everything's shifting and changing. My whole life's falling apart, the chaos. And I'm like, oh, guess what? You're in the shift. Yeah, everything breaks and falls apart and explodes when you're going through an up level, because you got to clear everything out. And then you're going to be like, oh, I don't know what to do now. I don't know who I am. I don't know where to go. I don't know anything. And I'll be like, yep, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Now let's guide you into finding who that is and being supportive and helping you in that space. So, God, I've done that so many times. So many times. I should have a PhD in it by now. It is a 30-minute consultation with me. So that you can, if you on the link in my bio, you'll see it'll say the mastermind. You can read about it, and then it says book a call. It's a 30-minute free call with me. I put everything on the page. Everything's up. The price, everything is all up front. There's nothing hidden. There's no games. It's read it. If you feel called to it and you want to see if you're a fit, hop on a call with me. We'll talk about what it is that you want to work through, what it is that what your end goal would like to be, We'll see if we vibe together. I'll feel into if it feels like it's aligned for you. I'll usually tap into your energy before the call, so I know what your mission is and I know what your purpose is in this life, and I can feel into that and see if that's a good fit. And if we both feel like it's a hell yes, then I will draw up a contract and send it over with the payment link, and we'll get you enrolled. But again, I am capping it at 15 people. 15 people is about the max I can hold right now for that level of, because this is crazy support. Like, again, I've never had a support where it's like, if you're having a real bad day and you need support, and you can message me on WhatsApp and say, can you get on the phone with me? And I will get on the phone with you. As long as I'm not on a call, I will call you on WhatsApp and we can talk for 10 or 15, 20 minutes and we can work you through it. That's the kind of support you're going to get. You'll have group chat, you'll have a Marco Polo video chat, but then you'll have direct access to me. Normally when I do group programs, you never have direct access to me. I usually only give that to private mentor students. Because here's the thing, if you're in private mentorship with me or in this mastermind, I am connected to your energy for that whole 6 months. So it is me. I had to learn how to hold space at this level to be able to do this. And that took a lot of years of practice because it's a lot of space. If I go into a one-on-one session with you, I'm going to connect to you before you get on the call, and I'm going to disconnect from you when you get off. People will message me 2 hours later and try to talk to me. I'll be like, I don't remember anything you said. I don't remember anything I said. I'd have to go back and sit and reconnect to you. But when we're in mentorship, I am connected to you that whole entire time. And that's why if I feel like something's off, like my private mentor student that I have right now, something fell off with her and she wasn't reaching out to me. So I finally reached out to her and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Because something doesn't feel right. And she was like, oh, I felt so ashamed to reach out to support because she's been on this journey for a long time. And she knows what she needs to know. But guess what? Our body, our nervous system doesn't give a fuck what our mind knows. I'm very self-aware, but I still hold trauma in my body, and my nervous system still reacts to that trauma even though my mind knows better. And I had to remind her, this is what you're paying me for. This is why you joined this, was for the support. I don't want your higher self showing up to this shit. I don't want your soul showing up to this shit. I want your inner child. I want your ego. I want the parts of you that need to be seen, that need to be heard, that need to be held, that need to be expanded, that need to be triggered. Those are the parts that I need you to show up. Those parts, they need massive support. So no shame here. Do never feel shame to reach out for support. When you sign up for this level of support, you better take advantage of it. And so when I'm connected to you that entire time, then if I know that something's off. And sometimes I'll know something's off, but I need to give you the space. Other times I'm going to be nudged to reach out to you. And that's the difference. And so I have to be able to hold space for that amount of people, for that amount of time. And that's why I'm capping it at 15. Hey, Liz. My mother is here with me and I'm yellow. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, we gotta get on a call and chit chat if you want to even entertain being a part of the mastermind. But October 10th is the day I will close. After that, I will not be letting anybody else in. So you have until 10/10 to, actually probably 10/9 to book a call with me and see if it's something you want to do. And then we can get your payment arranged or a plan set up or however you want to do it. But we do a contract. Even with private mentorship, I use an ICF contract. You mean another round of the mastermind? Is that what you mean? A second mastermind? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. It's probably going to depend on how this one goes. Like with the recalibration experience, I wasn't that excited about round 2 as I was round 1, but I'm fucking pumped for round 3. And that's going to be the last round I'm going to run. So I'm going to run the third round of recalibration experience. I'll start promoting it mid-October, and it will open November 1st. This one will be evergreen, meaning you will have access to it for life. The channeled information coming through is like top tier over the last two. So I'm really pumped about round 3, but that will be the last time I run the recalibration experience. But it's going to be, again, so with this, it's going to be depending on how it goes. And I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 months. You know, in 6 months from now, I may have so many private mentor students that I don't have room for a mastermind. So I can't promise you anything. No, absolutely not. You don't even ever have had to have a session with me. Because what happens, Misty, is I will, again, if you book a 30-minute consult with me, it's going to ask you for your date of birth. And I do that just to make sure that I'm getting a clear signal into you. And I connect to your energy the same way if you were to book a single session with me. Which if you've never had one of those, there is a one-time client rate, a first-time client rate, I should say. If you've never had a session, you do get a discount for your first time. But I work it the same way. I'm going to tap into your guides and your energy matrix, and I'm going to tap into what your mission is and what your soul's purpose is. Your purpose is what you're here to learn. Your mission is what you're here to do. And I'm going to tap into that so I have an understanding and connect to your guides and your team. And then when you show up, we can have a dialogue about what you want to work through, what your goals are, and see if it's something that is a good fit. And if it's not, I'll tell you, because I've had to turn people away in mentorship that I'm like, you know what, I don't think I'm a good fit for you, but I know someone who you might be a better fit with. Because for me, that's important. It won't be beneficial to me or you if it's not a good fit. Yeah, that can happen. Well, just set your intention. If it's going to be beneficial to me, have the funds show up. Or the ability to do, a payment plan. You just have to say, this is something that feels like would be beneficial to me. I wonder how the money's going to show up. Show me. And let go. Be surprised. You would be surprised. But yeah, you don't have ever even had to work with me. In fact, what's funny is most of my private mentor students that have had over the last 8 years, majority of them had never taken a course, had never had a single session. Some have had, a couple of them have had readings when I was doing live readings, whether it was free or paid. But I never remembered them because most of the time it's just a username, But majority of my private mentor students, again, that is my highest ticket offer, have come out of left field where they're like, oh, I've been watching you for years, or oh, I just had a reading with you and I knew that I needed to work with you and I just showed up. And that's my favorite. When you just click and you're like, I have a resonance to this, and I know that this person is in my life, is showed up in my life for a reason, and I'm gonna jump on it. Those are my favorite people, because those people are answering the call, and those are the ones that have the greatest change, and that's how it's been for me. That's a good tone to have, Tippy Tap. That is a good tone to have, my love. Law of assumption, baby, right? That's part of, it's what I teach in the recalibration experience. I just don't call it that. In round 3, we're gonna go a lot deeper into the law of assumption. But what you assume will bloom. So you just gotta assume. You gotta assume it's gonna work out. And when you catch yourself in doubt and lack, you have to ask yourself, what am I assuming right now? I'm assuming it's not gonna work out. Well, that's shitty. Why would I do that? I need to assume it's going to. Everything's always worked out before, or I wouldn't be sitting here. Right? Anytime I have doubt, which I've had a lot of doubt in the past 2 weeks, I've had a lot of doubt come up. I've had a lot of fear. And I will also say the frequency wars right now are very intense. And so there's a lot of fear being pumped in to the collective. And so you really have to be discerning about your energy. You have to be very mindful of clearing your field. You have to be very mindful when you're on social media. But anyways, anytime and for a week I was around people who were very much in a fear vibe. And I had a lot of doubt and lack show up, and I had to keep asking myself, what am I assuming here? And I had to keep reminding myself, everything's worked out. Everything has worked out. Even when I didn't think it was going to work out, it worked out. So what the fuck am I afraid of? Why am I even doubting? It's going to show up, even if it's in the 11th hour. It always has. Or I would not be here right now. I would not have had one of the best years in business, my best years of anything. I wouldn't have been able to manifest everything that I set out to manifest. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this shit. So why would I start doubting now? Fuck that. So it's just a constant redirect. But you have to be present for that. You have to be present. When you're present, you're observant. You observe the mind. You observe the thoughts. You observe the emotions. And you can call it out. You can use my purification process, right? And you can call it out and you can recognize, oh, I'm in my head right now. Oh, I'm assuming things aren't going to work out. Oh, I'm this. And that doesn't mean you bypass what you feel. You got to feel it. Like, this is what fear feels like. This is what lack feels like. This is what doubt feels like. These are the sensations that I'm feeling in my body. Don't bypass that. But at the same time, feel it, but then go, it's okay to feel this. This is welcome here. I'm going to love it anyway, because I know it's just a part of me. It's a part of me that needs love. You don't shun your child when they're in fear. You hold them tighter. You have to do the same for yourself, all while redirecting and going, you know what? Even if we're going to be okay. Even if we're going to be okay. Fear and faith both require you to believe in something you can't see. You choose. You choose. And uncertainty is a beautiful thing, because once something's certain, it's fucking concrete. But when it's uncertain, it's malleable. It could be anything. This live, by the way, will be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting my TikTok lives on my YouTube channel. So if you're not following me on YouTube, jump on over there. The playlist will be TikTok lives. So whether it's readings or me doing this or me sharing about my books in the future, these little tidbits seem to help people. I will also make reels from them that I will post on TikTok. But if you want to be able to go back and access these tidbits, you can do it in my TikTok, following me on YouTube. Just so you know. I've had a lot of requests to do that, and I just haven't, but I'm going to start doing it. I used to go live on YouTube all the time, but YouTube, I used to make a lot of money off of YouTube, but YouTube changed their monetization, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. I used to have a very good reoccurring monthly income from YouTube. And so when that stopped, I kind of quit giving energy to it. Oh, good. I'm also on Insight Timer. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. Yeah. But I just figured that's it's a good place to start putting this content. But I feel like October is going to be, I don't know, it just feels so much lighter. And I don't think it'll be right away. I feel like it'll be probably a week in, but it just feels like a deep sigh of relief. So I'm hopeful. I haven't felt into it collectively yet, but right now when I look at October, I feel into October. That's what it feels like. So I'm really looking forward to that. But at the same time, we're still going to be we are still in the most intense part of the shift in the frequency. Depending on, this is a very much an individual game now, where we have left the collective. If you're listening to me, you have left the collective field and you are now in an individual game, which means that you are going through your own process within the shift. So depending on where you are is going to depend on what you experience in October. So if you have density still left to clear, a lot of it you will. If you still need contracts to end, you will. If you still aren't good with managing your energy and your boundaries, you're going to come up against people pleasing and fear and having to learn how to manage your nervous system. So it becomes a very much an individual game. Again, another reason why the mastermind was such an important thing for me to create, because when you harmonize with people who are in the frequency that you want to be in, you guys are all collectively focused on being in that same frequency, that higher state of being and that higher level of awareness, and you have that support. You know, you are a product of the people that you surround yourself with, and so we want to be infused with that. We want to create that environment for ourselves. You know, when a plant is dying, you have to move it, you have to uproot it, you have to put it in a new environment, and how you water it and how much sun it gets and who's loving it is important. It's all important ingredients. So this is a very much an individual game. So while the overall energy feels like a breath of fresh air, and hopefully that is the case for me because I'm ready for it, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy by any means. But it doesn't have to mean it's suffering either. If you're suffering, you're attached. And attachment is the root of all suffering. So, yeah. I feel like I'm finally going to have a positive shift in my dad's estate. October's already. Yes. That feels good for you, Tippy Tap. Have you ever heard of an avatar healing? No. What is that? Sounds like somebody made up a name. When you're looking at somebody's avatar, and I have seen physically with my actual eyes people's avatars, you're looking at their, not just their higher self. It's not the right word. It's not their oversoul, because your oversoul is not just you, it's your whole soul family. So it's like a version of, it's like your higher self, but it's almost like a galactic version, if you will. It's your truest self. When I see someone's avatar, I see them at the true height, right? Your true height is between 8 and 10 feet. You look a little bit different. Your features are somewhat the same, but different. I see your true heritage traits, which is whether you're more elemental or Arcturian or whatever your base is. I'll see more of those traits. If you're more fairy based, I'll see more of those traits in your avatar. I'll see more of your true soul signatures. But I've never heard of avatar healing. I'm not sure what that would be. But that's what an avatar means to me. It's me seeing your avatar. And trust me, when you start seeing people's avatars, that is a trip. Because you got to remember, everything in this world is inverted, right? Earth is a mirrored duality. Earth is duality, or in duality, which is a mirrored reality. Why do you think people are scared of spiders? Spiders are not this big, right? And even in Australia, some of them are this big. But spiders are fucking gigantic. That's why people are really scared of them. Everything that is small is really big, and everything that is big is really small. When we are in avatar form, we're flying around on butterflies and dragonflies. They probably look a little bit different, probably don't look exactly the same as a butterfly and a dragonfly, but they're very similar. But here they're really small. Same with bees, mosquitoes, flies, the whole 9 yards. So everything is inverted. It's a trip. I haven't heard of an avatar reading either. I would assume an avatar reading is probably them doing just what I just said, tapping into your galactic lineage, your truest self. I'm sure it's just a name somebody gave it for whatever they're doing. I mean, it sounds interesting. If it calls to you, go for it. I saw myself in a dream with a golden eyes recently. I've been having remote viewing and astral travel predictions. That's awesome. So actually, I just had a client. Shoot, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? Just like 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I had a client. I've had actually a few clients who've had this ability. And the thing that was the common thread was nobody's really astral traveling or astral projecting. And it kind of pulled me back a little bit. And because I said, what do you mean? And it's like, their ability in precognition, their ability to be psychic or to read the future or to read the timelines, because it's really, you're not really reading the future, right? Everything's happening right now. It's just your ability to surf the consciousness. You have an ability to surf consciousness and to go and be where you need to be to get the information. And so while astral traveling and astral projection are kind of the same exact thing, it's just like we give it different definitions, you know, but it's all really just surfing consciousness. And when I'm looking into the future, all I'm looking at is at timelines. I look at it from a contract perspective. I have the gift of omniscience, so I can see all time and space. I just don't surf it the same way of like astral projecting or traveling. I tap into it and I just kind of get this, I can't describe it other than this view or this knowing, and I zone in always on the highest potential. So we all kind of get our information in a different way. But the one thing I've noticed was with the guides is they've been really trying to get us away from the human meanings of these words, because they're so limiting, if that makes sense. And so they've been kind of pushing me a little bit when I'm in session, because people get so stuck on certain terms. Not you, I'm just rambling on a rant from because you said that. It's cool though, and there are people who it's cool to practice and it's cool to use because it's going to stretch you. It's going to stretch your capacity to serve consciousness. It's going to stretch your capacity to trust yourself and to expand your gifts and how you receive information. So keep doing whatever you're doing. Keep practicing it. It's just been interesting how we're like being asked to let go of identities right now. We're being asked to let go of labeling and judgment of what we've always called things or what things have always meant. And remembering that we get to change the meaning, and that the meanings and the labeling and all of that limits things, and our identity limits us. And when we can let go of old identities and we can let go of needing to have an identity and just be open and flow and shift and change, because that is something that is coming for all of us. And I do feel that this is closer than we've ever been to it, but where we will begin to shape shift. Now, in the beginning, the shape shifting won't look like we understand shape shifting. It won't be something where you're morphing into a wolf, right? Or changing into a car. As long as we still are in a dense field where we hold more physical form, we won't be able to quite do that. But what we are doing is what the guides talked about for this month, which is our capacity, and why so many people are going through shit right now, to hold our multidimensionality, where our bodies and our consciousness are being stretched to be able to hold more of our multidimensionality. And with that comes a very fast ability to shift our identity to what we need in that moment, to tap into another version of us very quickly. This is the form of shape shifting that we are going to be going into very quickly. And so holding an identity is going to be an old way of doing things. You're not a mom, you're not a wife, you're not a coach, you're not a medium. You're a fucking soul in a human suit, and you get to be and choose each day. And we are learning. And that's another thing of why I've been, this year, my focus has been, and you guys have seen this, my whole year, my focus has been about learning to recalibrate, learning to tap into a version of you that's in another time-space reality. And those of you who went through the recalibration experience or who are currently in round 2, you know that every time you do that on a daily basis, you're not always tapping into the version of you that has everything that you're desiring. Sometimes you're looking at a version of you that needs healing. Sometimes you're looking at a version of you that's done something bad, right? Or, you know, we label as a dark life. You're starting to tap into different versions of you, and this is an important piece. You're learning to get to know all these versions of you and what they need and how to shift and change. And so this has been my focus all year long. And then boom, this month the guides came in with the forecast and we're like, guess what? Everybody's being stretched to be able to hold more of their multidimensionality. So we got to make space. We got to clear out their bodies. We got to clear out the people in their life that are no longer serving. We got to dump their worlds upside down. We got to get them to change course and go a different direction. And guess what? Over the past month and a half, I've had an influx of people in my inbox, and I'm like, get a session, join mentorship, do something. I can't help everybody over Messenger. I can't do that. But it's nice that people are reaching out, because then I have a clear connection to my tribe. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is what the guide said. And here we are. Here's all these people that are going through it. And so when this is the shape shifting that I'm talking about, and why it's so important to let go of an identity. We don't need to label and judge things anymore. We get to be shapeshifters. How do you feel about those TikTok mediums tapping into famous people without their consent for views, I suppose? You know what's interesting is have you read any of Dr. Robert Monroe's books? I don't know who Dr. Robert Monroe is, so no. I knew, okay, so when I was coming up early on, 2016, 2017, I was in a mastermind of my own. There was a woman in there. She's on TikTok. She's a psychic medium, and she's a good one. She's very clairaudient. But she got famous real fast because she was tapping into, he's my favorite actor. What is his name? From, hold on. I can see his face. He's cutie patootie. Paul Walker. After Paul Walker died, she was channeling him all the time. She was channeling Robin Williams. She was channeling all of these famous people. And she got really big really fast. But she was not developed enough yet. She did not have good boundaries. She was not discerning very well. She got very enmeshed with a lot of this. And she lost everything because she was not in integrity. And the universe will do that. And there's a lot of people on TikTok, unfortunately, that aren't doing things in integrity. And that's why you have to have discernment, and you have to follow people, and you have to really vibe with them. And sometimes we have to have hard lessons, because that's just the way the world works. And so if you end up getting taken by somebody, just take it as a lesson and learn from it and move on. I don't agree with it. I don't think so. Have I channeled celebrities? Yes and no. One, never publicly. And two, I've had celebrities come to me, but it was for personal things. So Whitney Houston has come to me several times. I have a lot of family members who battle addiction. She was someone who battled with addiction. She had a lot to share about it. So Whitney Houston has come to me quite a few times. Robin Williams has also come to me quite a few times. In fact, I actually had a mentor that I hired, and she's told me, she said, I woke up at 3:33 to Robin Williams telling me that I was missing, you were missing a piece of one of your processes. This is when I was channeling and receiving the purification process. I had 3 out of the 4 frequencies. I didn't have the first one. Robin Williams, because he used to come to me, woke her up, told her, and she had never met me before. She did not know I had 3 of the 4 frequencies. And so that's how I knew it was real. But Robin Williams has come to me. There's been a few other celebrities who have shown up, but I would never channel them publicly. And I think it's done for clout and fame, and some people do it for money, whatever. So no, I don't agree with it, but you gotta let people walk their path, you know? But there are people who channel, so you guys, I'm sure, have heard of quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT, Dolores Cannon. The person, Candace, who created Beyond Quantum Healing, she is friends with the mentor I just talked about. Her name was Pamela Ireland, by the way. But Candace is friends with Pamela, and Candace channels, or did channel, a lot of Dolores Cannon. And Dolores Cannon was famous. Dolores Cannon was not necessarily ever channeling information. She was always sharing information that she got from people's QHHT sessions. That's important to know. But I do believe that Candace was channeling Dolores. But Dolores' family got very upset and actually made her stop. She could no longer publicly channel Dolores. They call it free game since they are celebrity. You know, karma, cause and effect. That's all karma is. Cause and effect. Action and reaction. So there will be an effect from what they're doing, and they will have to face that when that day comes. But people who are doing it to grow their audience and get views, I don't know. I think it's disgusting that you use other people for that, you know? He ended up doing the Gateway Project with the CIA. Oh. I know who you're talking about. No, I haven't read his books. I actually know who you're talking about now. There is so much on the CIA's website. You guys would have, if you guys ever really want to go down a rabbit hole, start going into the CIA files online. I met Paul Rudd in real life. I was an extra. Oh, that's so cool. I like Paul Rudd. He never ages, so I wonder if he's an adrenochrome user. Let me plug in my phone. My phone is dying. If you go on the CIA website, hold on one second. You'll see how we have already, why is that not, oh, there it goes. We've already used portals to move troops and people from one country to another. The things that that med beds have been around for years, like, it's there. You have to really dig for it. But the fact that most diseases can be cured right now, that most things can be free. We already have all the technology to have free energy, to have clean, free water. It just doesn't make them any money. And so it's all been kept behind the scenes, behind the curtain, if you will. But if you dig deep enough in the CIA websites, you will find all that information. Yeah, like a time machine, or not a time machine, where they literally moved troops from one continent to another in seconds. It is literally on, you have to dig for it. But I remember I was watching someone who does that. There's YouTube channels of people who dig for you and kind of share information, and they literally show you, and they give you the website so you can go look for yourself. Like, it all comes with what we call receipts. Yeah, it's all the declassified stuff. Yeah, like a Stargate, yeah. And Stargates are real. Portals are real. Everything is right here, right? Heaven is not up there. There is no hell. There's Everything's right here. And that's why in the coming years, you'll see aliens walking amongst us. Guides have said that that will happen, because as we move into the higher frequencies, the only thing stopping you from seeing that they're already here walking amongst us is the fact that you're not on their frequency. But once we're on their frequency, there's no hiding it. You know, you're just going to see it. So it will be kind of a Men in Black scenario. They won't look like the people from Men in Black, but you will notice that they're different. And we will start intermingling with other races. But that will happen in our lifetime. I will die on that hill, because the guides have said it way too many times. Yeah, me either. When I was a little kid, I used to wait. I would beg. I'm like, I swear to God, I hope the aliens show up at my door. I'm going to take them for ice cream and tacos. Like, those are things you'd have to experience. I wanted to be an astronaut because I wanted to get closer to the space and closer to the aliens. I would get like freeze-dried food for Christmas and alien stuff. Like, I've been obsessed with aliens my whole life. Why? Because when I was 3, I started seeing them. They were galactic beings, tall ones, in my room. I was obsessed with Sylvia Browne when I was a teenager and young from like around 10 on. I was obsessed with Sylvia Browne. I was a member of her agnostic Christian church that was in LA. I couldn't even drive. Wasn't even old enough. Wasn't even 14. But it was back then, it was by mail. You became a member, you paid a fee, you got newsletters. I have almost every one of Sylvia Browne's books. So my whole life I have been obsessed with all of these things, and then I wonder why I'm here. Oh, they definitely exist. Definitely exist. Oh, and by the way, praying for everybody in Florida and Georgia right now. It is Cat 4. If you are in Georgia or Florida and you are in... Oh, I just got chills. If you are in the catastrophic area or the severe area of the storm, get the fuck out. As someone who has been in that level of storm, I have watched homes around me be stripped down to studs. I've seen people die. It is not worth staying. So if you're on here and you are in Florida or Georgia, get out. I just saw a thing come up, so it reminded me. I got a little emotional because I lived in the Carolinas for 9 years, and I have been through some really bad hurricanes. So if you know somebody in those areas, tell them to get out. Get out. Do not stay. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything? The mastermind, private mentorship, recalibration experience, any other random questions that we want to talk about before I wrap up for today? This has been an awesome conversation. I loved hanging out with you guys. And again, I will be posting this TikTok live probably tomorrow on my YouTube channel. If you're following me on YouTube, so you can go back and rewatch it if you want. It will be there for you. No, the consultations are free. I do ask that you make sure that you read the price and make sure it is something that if it lines to you that you could do, so we're not wasting each other's time. But no, there's no fee for the consultation. Just make sure you put your birthday in the comments where it asks for it, because again, I'll spend about 5 to 10 minutes tapping into your energy and channeling your guides before you get on the call. And that's for me to know, so that when we're talking, I have an idea of what your mission is, what your purpose is, and I can hear what it is that you want to work on and what your end goal is. And we can kind of have a short discussion about it and see if it's a good fit, you know? Because it's important. It has to feel in alignment for you. Otherwise, it's not for you. Thank you, Tippy Tap. I always get excited when I see your name. I mean, yeah, they'll tell me that this would be awesome for her, but I generally won't tell you that. I mean, like, I know, like, Tippy Tap would be great for it. Shannon would be great for it. I know them. I've worked with them. I've talked to them. So I always can have a good vibe if I think you're a good fit, and the guides would tell me if it's a good fit. Sometimes I have had guides tell me before they're not ready for this. I had someone who I had to say no to because they're like, they're not ready. And one time I said yes to somebody, signed them for private mentorship. This was my hard lesson. This happened a couple of years ago. Someone came to me. They had a session, and then they came back and said, I want to do private mentorship. And their guides said that they were not ready. And that person was like, I still want to do it. And I knew better, and I signed them. And they made it through about 4 of their 12, back then it was 12 sessions, now it's 13. They made it through 4 of their sessions before they quit. And if you quit, you don't get your money back. It's a contract. And so she was upset and everything. And I'm like, I mean, we talked about this. So now if I get a no, it's just a no. It's just a no. It's never about, I'm never going to do something just for the money. So if it's a no, I'll definitely tell you it's a no. If it's a yes, I will tell you that I'm all in, but I'm not going to be someone to be like, your guide said you should do this. I'm not going to do that. You not being sure if you're ready for it is different than your soul knowing if you're ready for it. So you have to, that's the discernment that only you can have, and we can talk about that in a consult if you want. But again, if it's something you're afraid of, we need to understand what you're afraid of. And usually if you're afraid of it, you should go towards it. But we have to see what it is that you wouldn't be ready for. Is it the commitment? Is it your inability to show up for yourself? You don't think you're strong enough to do the work, so that's why it's nice to have a consult, because we can kind of talk about it. And if you're honest about it, I'm going to be honest with you and be like, no, if you're not going to do X, Y, and Z, then this isn't for you. So I'm going to be as transparent as possible. And that's what I expect from you too. So as long as we're real and honest with each other, you'll know if it's a good fit or not. So it's up to you. You can book the call if you want, but it's there, for anybody who's called to the mastermind or private mentorship in general. And if you're not, and you're like, I kind of just want to have a session. Again, the first time you ever have a session with me, it is at a discounted price. So you can always go that route as well. But yeah, I won't say yes to people who I know aren't a good fit anymore. You're very welcome. Very welcome. All right, you guys, any other questions? If I have time tomorrow, I might pop on and do another hangout session like this again. We'll see. We shall see. I actually enjoy this better than doing readings, honestly, just hanging out with you guys. It's nice. I think it's nice. So I will try tomorrow to hop on. I think Monday I'll be recording most of the day. I'm really trying to get my podcast guest line. Oh, speaking of that, if anybody on here knows of anybody who's had an NDE, a near-death experience, and you've seen them on TikTok, or Instagram or Facebook or any of those places, or a good numerologist, or someone who does QHHT or Beyond Quantum Healing that you follow, that you like, I'm looking to interview and talk to those kind of people. So if you see them on TikTok or any other platform, please tag me or my Cosmic Blonde channel, which is my podcast, in the comments, so that I can check them out and see if they'd be a good fit to be on the show. So again, near-death experiences, QHHT or Beyond Quantum Healing practitioners, and numerologists. I'm really wanting to interview a few of those people. So if you experience any of those people, please tag me in the comments so that I can follow them and check them out. What is this? All right. But I have loved hanging out with you guys. Again, all links are in the bio. And again, I will try to pop on tomorrow and we can do another hangout session. And I will have this video up live tomorrow on my YouTube under my TikTok playlist. So thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys have a great night and I will talk to you later.